Welcome to Fishing Squad. Well, solo today. It's going to be a quick session, about 6 hours, saying that quick, 6 or 7 hours. Solo targeting Tope. We've got a decent tide, decent conditions. We've got a chance of a few out in the area, up and down the coast. It's all about just being there when they pass through. Obviously, the more we go through summer into autumn, the more often there's a chance of intercepting one or two. Got 3 out last year, could have had 4 or 5. We've had a couple of sessions already this year. It's mainly been getting huss out, as always. Huss. We're good on the huss. So I'm going to fish a different mark today. I've changed my mind at the last minute due to the wind. And the mark we're going on today, the wind does turn round as forecast. Probably just about get away with it. So the mark I was going to fish is a bit more exposed. But I still could change my mind before I even get there, because there's a point where the path forks. I've got a choice to go left or right. I don't know. I might change my mind yet. I ain't got a clue. I'm undecided still, even though I've said that. So we'll see what happens anyway. I'll see you at our mark. Right, I'm down. I didn't pick the easy option. I've gone on the more trickier mark. What I like about this mark is it's deep, obviously. First and foremost. And we're really exposed on here. It's a different level of rock fishing, really. It's hardcore, basically. So it looks lovely. There's plenty of lower ledges to land fish on with net. If I need to, I've just bought a new net. I'm a bit impatient with my net. I ended up just buying one. I had a couple of good recommendations, and cheers to anyone that watched the videos and you know me. Thanks for that. I just needed one for this weekend. I'll bear them in mind though for my next net, because I don't know how long this one will last. But as long as you've got the framework for one, at least you can dock to the. I'll show you actually. At least you can dock to the mesh if you need to get some new mesh or whatever. We've got a northwesterly on our right cheek, but I've managed to get in like an alcove, so I'm quite sheltered. I've got a big bank of rock here on our right cheek. I say right cheek, I don't know if I did. I've got a nice alcove here, so it should be pretty comfortable. I'll get one rod straight out straight away, and I'll spin with the other one. But I've got 2 big rods for spinning. Something that, if you watch Tommy Joe's YouTube channel, he's just had a Tope. Well done, Tommy. I don't know if you watch mine, but I'm just giving you a big pat on the back, pal. Hopefully it'll be my turn today. But you've put a lot more time in this year than I have. Fair play, mate. Well done. This is the net I've got. It's a boat landing net. Cheers, Tim, for recommendation. Fast delivery within 24 hours, pretty much. I will probably doctor it a bit to get through this year's Tope fishing. As long as we get some Tope out, like that'll probably get changed for some Jubilee clips. And someone recommended strapping a butt of an old rod to it, to your net, to make it longer, which is great. For today's session, we've got some lovely lower ledges to land fish on, especially as the sea ebbs out we have. If we get one early on, it might be a bit sketchy, but having the net, it's not a landing. I won't call it a landing net as such. That's for carp fishing, a landing net. I'd call it a landing assist, because Tope are big, they're powerful, and I think unless you've got a really heavy duty, fully galvanised one that's quite heavy, you're not really going to be able to just lift one straight out and sea with it, are you? So it's just an assist, especially when you're on your own. So I'll put that behind me, within arm's reach, if you like. Then we're going to tackle up a rod straight away to go on bottom with frozen mackerel, which, by the way, I froze myself and it's still in better nick than what you can buy out the shops. We'll strap the rod rest down. I'll talk you through the rigs, and then with the other heavy rod that we're going to have to spin with, I watched Tommy Joe do it on one of his latest videos. Purely, I brought 2 rods down. I want to fish with 2 on the bottom, but I don't want to bring a 3rd rod down. I'll have to scramble down, not kidding you. It's like mountaineering coming down here. You'd only need a rope attached to you to be abseiling pretty much. So I didn't want to carry any unnecessary gear, an extra reel, an extra rod. It's unnecessary. I've got 6 frozen mackerel and a garfish. So what we'll do is, if we get some fresh, we'll slice a couple of them up, put them in as a bit of chum, and we'll see how we get on. I'm super excited. Honestly, I've fished down this mark. This is the 3rd time. It's just been little goes the other 2 times, short sessions. Today we've got 6 hours, 7 hours down here. I'm glad I made the choice actually to come down here. You know what? It looks more it looks rough. And if this wind does swing round and comes into our face, I think I'll be all right because the sea's ebbing out, but it is going to get rough, you know what I mean? It's going to get rougher. And like I say, it's hardcore, this, it really is. But what I like about it is no one else has been down here for a long time. There's no rubbish on rocks, you know, and hopefully there'll be less line snags and stuff in the sea in front of us, and we'll have a productive session. There's no lobster pots in the casting range at all at the moment. I don't know if that's because of the sage tide and they're being dragged under, but I can't see any at all. Must be dreaming. But we'll get a right aggressive tide run as well along this one, like a point on a nose, and it will get a really aggressive tide run going from left to right. But on the end of this nose, down the sides, there's no other rocks. It's like tucked in, so when the tide pulls right, it'll keep us out. When it pulls left, it'll keep us out. So hopefully, it'll produce fish. I've fished here 2 times before. Last time I caught a couple of pollock, didn't have anything on big bait, which were fresh pollock. Time before, I caught a huss and a dogfish. But I wasn't down here as early as this, because once it turns to come in after a couple of hours, it's unfishable because the tide runs so savage. So I'm hoping today we're on the money we're getting down here earlier. Anyway, I'll stop that yapping. I'll get the rod set up. I'll show you the rig and the bait, baited up and stuff. A bit short on mackerel feathers. I've got 4 sets. They're not my favourite ones. I don't have any confidence with what we're using for mackerel feathers, but they'll work. I'm short on elastic and I'm short on leads. Got 10 though, so that'll be enough. But that's me short on leads. If I don't bring 20 down with me, I'm not happy. So, yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm super excited, as you can probably tell. I'm glad I've made this choice. I don't know if it's going to be for the better or for the worse at the moment. But I think on this nose, right out into Irish Sea, with this tide run going left and right like that, there's got to be some passing by, some tope. I just want to hear that reel scream off, you know. I don't think I've worked hard enough yet for one, though, to be fair. I haven't had enough sessions yet on it. I've had a few, but we've got a good tide today as well. It's a fairly biggish one, but probably a little bit bigger than I'd like. But we're fishing a different mark, so yeah. I'm going to end up talking all day, and I'm not doing any fishing. Right, I'll crack on. Right, I've just baited my rig up. I'll come to the camera so you can't see me. I've got, well, you can see obviously what I'm doing. I've got a length of AFW wire. This happens to be £210 wire. It's a bit overkill. There's 12 inches of it. It's shrink tubed at both ends. It's probably a bit longer than 12 if you count the length of the hooks and stuff. 10 okie back hook, 8-0 wide mouth specimen bottom hook. Power swivel, then 4 foot of £200 line. So a Gemini splashdown and a 7-ounce lead. Obviously it's a pulley rig. We don't need to go into this in too much detail. On the other rod, I'll be putting a different rig out when I get some fresh. That's my Gemini splashdown. I've got a upside down bait clip for the rotten bottom section, some weaker line, a couple of overhand knots in it, with a 7-ounce lead. So I'm going to fire this out and see what happens. That's the first rod out, and it's proper gone down tight. It's gone right left. You get that when it's ebbing out on these marks. So, but we're keeping out in the tide just about. But we'll see how we get on. I'm going to put the feathers on. Right, update. I've put a second bait up out on the big rod. It's holding fine even with this ferocious current. It's making it really hard to feather with the ferocious current. I'm now regretting not bringing that third rod down because on my back I've got a bit of sciatica as it is, and my back's playing up a little bit. I've had some painkillers and that, like, but I'll be all right and all that. It seems to slacken off when I come walking, and it is a little bit easier on the old back when I'm feathering, believe it or not. But that rod's bloody heavy, into the Ron Thompson accelerator. I did have a mackerel on, I think, on first choke, and it come off. I don't think it could be a mackerel because I hooked it far out, and it was kiting it tide a little bit. But yeah, we're early in tide. I think it's must be just after 12, I think now, maybe half 12. Low tide's about 4. We're staying down till 7, so we've got ages yet. But it's not been a very good start with mackerel. I think when you get a ferocious current going one way or other, unless there's something about, you're going to struggle. You know, you need your feathers to sink, and I've got the wind with the currents as well, so my feathers aren't sinking very deep. I'm thinking about putting a shock leader on, putting a 6-ounce lead on or something like that, just so I can fire it out when it sinks. I might do that actually next. Then I've got a shock leader on that reel as well, ready for when I switch over. I will get some mackerel, I know I will. It's just tough going at the minute. It is literally, this mark, I said it's hardcore fishing. That is exactly what it is. You know, it's like the Bermuda Triangle out there. It's like an absolute massive whirlpool. The current must be running one way further out. It's coming around, hitting some pressure points out there and whipping back round left. but the sun's come out, broke through clouds. Lovely, it's lovely and warm. I'm in shorts. I thought the only mistake I've made is not bringing that other rod down. So I've got one tackled up on feathers and two out on big baits. But I might not. My opinion on that might change if I can look into a couple of stringfuls on the next couple of chucks. But I'm happy. I'm happy now. It's just nice being out. Obviously, we do want the target fish. It might not happen today, but I'm happy to be on a new mark, a different mark. Coming through in a few days' time with Charlie Lincoln, Jay and Martin. So we want a mark where there's going to be a bit of spacing on here, honestly. Lads, I'll send you a bit more of an extended video on WhatsApp or whatever, but I'm telling you now, this is the mark, boys. If we're struggling on anywhere else, this is the mark. It's beautiful, beautiful. Plenty of room. Good ledges at the bottom to land fish on. Beautiful. It's probably just a little bit rough. It's probably not a mark you want to fish when there's any wind at all. You know, you want it absolutely flat, but I just thought I'd go hardcore today, basically, and I'm desperate to get some fresh mackerel, get a South African big game rig on other rod, and have a go with that. I've said it before in my videos, I love fishing solo. I'm buzzed up today, that's why I'm, you know, you might watch some of us on videos, and you might think we're on drugs or something. I watch a few other lads on videos, and literally, we ain't on drugs, it's called being high on fishing life and being outdoors. It does something to you. It's definitely good for the brain and mind. No doubt about that. You just buzz. We might be a bit pissed sometimes as well on videos, like, to be fair. But yes, Coca-Cola today. Nice big bottle. Plenty of energy in that for climbing back up there. Probably better off with water, to be fair. But lovely jubbly. Just need one of this reel to go screaming off. I just want to get comfortable. I want to get 4 to 6 more mackerel. Get both rods out and just sit here and chat knackers to you on camera. And then get a screamer. I'll just see if you can see it, rods. Just give me a sec. Might try and reposition camera. I haven't got my camera tripod down. Yeah, rods there, look. Yeah, we'll try and reposition camera, I think, in a bit. Yeah, I'm not bothered saying anything else now until we get some mackerel. I'm going to get back to it. Just a footnote, if you do come rock fishing on any of these marks, when it's like this, always bring a drink and bring a few bits of sweet items, you know what I mean, just to keep your energy levels up. It can be really tough going in this heat. It's not too bad because I've got a nice, cool breeze. But yeah, it can be tough. I love summer, me. I'm in shorts today. I've got my trainers on. Trainers are fine when it's dry. You don't want wellies on. My feet sweat like mad when I've got wellies on. If you can get a decent pair of boots, that'd be probably more practical. I think I'm going to get some trainer boots, you know, like steel toe cap trainer boots to come down next time in. I might put some little suds on them as well. But they're all right trainers, you know, they're comfy, that's the thing. It's not something you'd probably highly recommend to someone if they don't do rock fishing regular. You probably want something a bit more stable, but if you're decent up rocks, they're sound. So I'm going to have a few casts now with feathers, a few more casts with feathers, and hopefully we get some fresh. Even pollock will do. Just top my bait up with a bit of fresh so I can put fresh on one, frozen over it and chill out. Right guys, I managed one fresh mackerel. Absolutely struggling with big rod. But we did get one, and he's a big one. Decent size, still twitching. What we'll do is, we'll use bits of him to pimp up the frozen, I think. You know, rather than getting a couple of baits out of one fresh, we'll make him last with a frozen. I think that's the only choice we've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change I've still got my feathers on the rod on the right here. It's a stock rod rest. Is that showing up as the right or the left? That's the left. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. I thought, because I'd reversed camera, I thought it was showing up dodgy. Yeah, so we're going to have probably 10 more casts with that. I'm going to put some fresh bait on this one on the left. I haven't had any bites on it. Current's been swinging left and right. But I just haven't got time to feather any longer, so, I mean, I was lucky I brought some frozen down because I wasn't going to bother. I thought it would be fine, but I think if I brought my other rod down, truthfully, I would hit into some, but you get lazy, don't you, as well? It has been tough, though. It has been tough. I did have one on, I think, on first cast, and it come off. But like I say, there's still time. We could get into a shoal, but I don't want to. It's 2 o'clock now. I'm going to change bait on that. Literally, I want to be getting that one ready. When baiting water on the second rod for 3. So, yeah, we'll change baits anyway on this big rod. Right then, guys, no more mackerel. The tide run is so savage. I said it were an hardcore mark, didn't I? But I ain't got time to feather to low water when the tide run will probably ease up. You know what I mean? You probably get more. But I was that confident and probably naive a bit that I'd get some. Not knowing how bad it'd be off here with the tide run. That's all I can put it down to. A bit of low confidence. I ain't got the feathers that I'd like to use. I ain't got the rod that I'd like to use. We've caught one. We've still got plenty of frozen. We'll use the blood off one, put some strips off the one and hook them up back the frozen chunks. So we'll be on the money. So on this rod, I'm putting a South African big game rig out. If you ever watch, I think it's Billy's fishing on YouTube. He does a lot of fishing in Norway. I'm just having a drink. You'll just have to excuse me. Listen, honestly, my channel ain't about getting filming spot on or out like that. It's about getting fishing right. Which, like anything else with fishing, doesn't always go to plan, but we'll try and get it right. Excuse me. So I've got a South African big game rig, and all it is, there's a power swivel at the top of it, then there's a 4 foot length of 200-pound line with a circle hook and a dongle. Now with dongles, I don't use big baits. I find if you use big baits, it's simple maths. You use a big bait, and the fish hits it here, it's not getting your hook. So I'll just put a mackerel head on there probably, or maybe a third of a mackerel. I'm on this particular one, I'm using a mackerel. I'm not showing you baited up because I'm going to use that fresh mackerel head. And I've had tope on mackerel head so many times. I've seen my dad catch a 52-pound tope on a mackerel head. You know, he uses just single heads or single tail sections. Never uses a full mackerel, and he always uses a single O'Shaughnessy. They don't clip it down or anything like that. So this rig, we've got a 4 foot length of 200-pound mono for the snood. But then running off the same swivel with some tubing, if you can see, is a clip. I put shrink tube on it also. It hangs off in like a T, if you like. Or, you know, so the two lines are separate. Going down to another swivel on this is 70-pound mono. You need to make your lead line longer than your hook snood. To another swivel that's got shrink tubing on. Then to 20-pound mono, and a cheap what are they called again? Remind me. Oh, it's impact. What is it? It's an impact shield. It's not an impact shield. I can't remember. Imp. Breakaway imp. It's not a great breakaway one though. There's some cheap ones off eBay. You can get 50 for $6.99. So that then, I'll hang on my dongle when I cast. On the end of the dongle, I've put a swivel. Because them imps are quite cheap, the release a bit easier than the good quality ones. So you can see how the swivel connects up. There's no pressure then on your hook, on your lead line. It's all on your hook snood. I'll just hold that down for you. I'm not going to show you baits up because I don't want all blood off that mackerel going everywhere, basically. So it should hang. The two lines should hang separately when it's set up. I've got a 9-ounce lead on bottom of there. Oh no, an 8-ounce lead on bottom of there as well. It's not really the best demonstration. This is it. So basically, when we've got the bait on it, it won't tangle up. Don't worry. Don't panic. I shouldn't have clipped that up then when I was sat down, basically. So we're just trying to experiment with a longer snood. 200-pound mono. I mean, I'm not a fan of using mono for tope, but I've put some heat shrink on the back of that, and it is a circle. I've gone over the eye with heat shrink as well, just to protect against any, give it a bit of extra abrasion. So yeah, keep the lines separate when you clip them down, and it will hang separate. Look, it does hang separate, kind of. It'll be fine when it's baited up and ready to go out. Yeah, it does hang separate. Look, you can see it does hang separate. So yeah, we'll give that a go. Should be able to bomb that out like. Let's have a bite then. Talking away, I think ratchet we're going on this one. Maybe it horse. So that's it, big baits on both rods. Just waiting for the action to start. Just had a little bit of a judder on one of them. Frozen with a bit of fresh. That's just what I've started doing now. Strapping a bit of fresh mackerel fillet to a big chunk of frozen. A bit disappointed with mackerel, but I haven't got time now to feather my guts off. Backtracking a bit now, aren't I? But hey ho. Keep at it and see if we can catch something. I might have to have a look at that. Have a look at that South African big game rig, the dimensions of it, we'll see. I've just reeled it for a bait change and it was fairly tangled, to be fair, which I suppose when you look at how I was setting it up, it doesn't really surprise you, but that's what they use off the beaches in South Africa. It's stone beaches and what have you, so must be a way of making it work. just experimenting with a longer snood and what have you. You know what I mean? So if it comes entangled again, I will swap it for a pennel rig. I think pulley pennel, and we'll go back to the drawing board with that. But it should be a good one if you're fishing snaggy ground. That one really circle hook, single circle, a nice bottom bottom set up on one side of the rig on your lead line, and then obviously decent bait on the circle. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Also, when I'm baiting up a dongle rig, I always skim the mackerel into the hook. I don't fish a dongle, truthfully. People call it a dongle rig, don't they? But it's not actually technically a dongle rig, is it? It's just a piece of whatever material you use for on your hook to clip your bait down on a thick hook, because of the Gemini splashdowns not being able to take a big hook. That's what I use them for anyway. And obviously fishing a single circle on snaggy ground or a single J hook's better than using a pennel rig, really, because you're less likely to snag up. And so far, Touchwood have only lost 2 leads, which is good. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm confident. I don't know why. I truthfully feel something's going to happen today, and I might be wrong, but I'll tell it as it is. I just feel we're close to something happening. Could be wrong, but usually I am. But usually when I feel it in my bones, it happens. So come on, let's have one. Let's have a run. Right, guys, we've got a fish. Not what we came for. I don't know how long he'd been on for. Hooked in the pectoral fin. Is that what we call the side one? I can't remember. With the 10-0 circle. Which ain't good. It's come straight out though. Felt like it might have been a hussar coming through the water. Ah well. At least something's coming up to feed, that's what I say. It's not end of the world if they're feeding. So we'll get a new rig put on. Well, not a new rig, I've just got baited a couple of rigs up ready. We'll get that fired out. Get a new one fired out, shall I say. Nice one. Right, well, it's been a slow session, and as soon as we've got to low tide, we've got a current ripping to the right now. I've got my rods and rest, well, tripod, anchored into rocks with a bungee, because I've had to tighten, drag up on both reels quite tight. It's still slack enough if a tope picks it up to take line, but it might take rod fresh in the hot rod if I don't have it anchored into rocks with a bungee. So yeah, it's been a funny session. The only tackle I've lost a rig on a lobster pot that I couldn't see below the surface to the left of me. I literally cast and bowing my line went round the float. But other than that, it's clear. And the only tackle I've lost a couple of leads, but I haven't lost anything rig-wise other than the one on the lobster pot. It's not been bad in terms of that, and it's got a lot of potential, this mark. I like this current when it's ripping. It's not producing many fish at the moment. But I gambled. I don't really want to have to come out in the morning and have another go at it, but I might have to. Second fish in the session. You know what's coming. A little daggy. Hooked on the bottom hook, the J hook. We'll get it put back. Ah, yes, so 2 doggies, get in. I've just noticed something. We're on like a corner piece, and we've got loads of water going that way because we stuck out. Current's ripping to the right, so I've just dropped one off at corner about 40 yards out and let it go down tide a bit. My line's kiting that way, but there's loads of deep water that way. And that's the bigger bait of the 2 as well. I'm just going to check the line. Just give me a sec. Yeah, that sounds a pound, that. Yeah, nice one. So, we're on a platform that sticks out into the Irish Sea. We've got space, because it comes round like that. We've got space to the left, space to the right. But we're closest on the right-hand knuckle of it, if you like, and the current's ripping to the right now. So I've cast out to the right and left it out so it stays out in the tide. There's no rock here round the corner. It scoops right in, so it should fish in theory. If I was a tope, I'd be coming up this side in the scoop out round the corner where the tide is ripping left and right to pump my prey, if you like. So yeah, I'm out of fresh bait now as well, so that's gone. That's a whirly. I've been waiting for a tope in 2024. We're going to start singing some tope songs, aren't we? Oh, I can't swim anyway. Can't catch fish either at the moment. Couldn't even get any mackerel. Only just so on, just so on. Like I said, I don't want to go for too hard at it this weekend, but temptation, it's difficult to resist. It's an addiction. The more you blank, it just gets you more addicted, and the more you catch as well. I mean, I did 3 tote last year. I should have had more, but it's an achievement for me, you know, working life, and I get weekends off now, and it's screwed me because I can't pick my times and my tides, you know, without booking holidays. So yeah, I've got some holidays booked like in a couple of weeks to get back down here, and obviously I've got a holiday down here in August, so I'm sure we'll see one soon. I feel confident about everything else. I need the fish to turn up, so yeah. Nice one. I think the wind's swung round now, but we had a northwest on our right cheek. It's now blowing in our face southwestish, pretty much west-southwest. It eased off slightly, then the sea's now turned to come in, and it's swung round on that usually. That's usually what happens. It's going to pick up to 20 mile an hour, it says, but I don't think we'll quite get that because it was like a 2-hour period. I think we're past that now. So it should be fishable in the morning on one of the marks. We might try one of the marks with some lures maybe. See if we can redeem ourselves on mackerel front, just getting a few week freezer when we're next down. It's always good just to start, isn't it? Yeah. I hope you don't mind the blabbing on and stuff. There's not much else to discuss, is there? I mean, that doggy hook's on the bottom, J-hook. It's easy to see why they swallow smaller hooks down, isn't it, when people fishing on beaches and stuff. Yeah. Get an 8-0 J-hook down or a 10-0 circle. I have no problems getting 2 and 3 O's down, rather. So yeah. Struggling. Jay, that dogfish we caught on part of your garfish that you caught on the last video. Yeah, if I blabbed on a bit, guys, I hope we've enjoyed it, if no else. I've enjoyed it. I've absolutely loved it trying a new mark out, you know what I mean? But it don't mean if I fish somewhere else that I got one, you know. I've still got a couple of hours left, like I say. We're just going to see what the tide does as it comes in. If we get any pockets where it doesn't rip left and right, because usually the savage bits of the current are pretty consistent with the time of tide, or the stage of tide, on these marks. They might run more aggressively for longer on bigger tides than what they do on smaller tides, you know, in terms of like the actual time, if you like, when that starts. But it is pretty consistent usually. You know, we might get a pocket 2 hours after low where it just neutralises. I don't know. We'll see. I've probably, up to now, I've took a gamble that hasn't paid off. Right guys, I've got another fish. It's made me feel a little bit better about the session. It's nothing special at all. But in terms of something a bit different, you can guess, you can see what it is anyway. It's an angry little strap. A welcome one all the same, I'm afraid. We'll get him up, get him put back. Nailed on the dongle rig with a 10-0 circle. Right in the scissors. Garfish mackerel cocktail. I had a tope on. It's what flew into my line, this silly thing. I'm just getting it hooked. At least I managed to get a useful net. I've nearly got it untangled, to be fair. I got him free from net. Just wait there a sec. He's gone anyway, but I've had to cut an hole in my net, the thing. Oh, the bloody thing. Oh, let's cut a couple of... I can repair that light, that's not a problem, but it's just... bloody seagull, eh? Yeah, we can repair that, not a problem. Oh. I thought I had a tope on, guys. My rod started going like that, and I picked up on my hoo, it's at least us, this. Bloody seagull flew into my line. Ah, well. Right, I'm just about ready to reel these rods in a slow session. Just like to say that, slight stress, should I say, that no harm was done to that seagull. was a nice little bleeder, I know that. It was trying to bite me. Once I manned up a bit and realised I can actually hold it, I probably didn't need the net, but you don't know. Yeah, it was close to my eye on one occasion. Oh, don't bite me in the eye, for God's sake. And once I was trying to get some footage of when I released it and stuff, but I just couldn't. It were gone. So it was happy enough. It did actually. It hopped away, stopped on rocks there. I chucked it some mackerel, but it flew off. I think it was just relieved that it had gone away. It must have thought it got attacked by a mackerel, man. But yeah, it's a bit of a recommendation as I draw this video to the end. This is a superb line. It's, I don't know if you can see. Nope, you can't. It's Suffix. Can you see? It's Suffix Tritanium, not titanium. Tritanium. Tritanium. It's £25 line. It's the best line I've ever used. That. I've never used the Variras Sport yet, but this one's absolutely superb. I've had it on my reels now for 10 sessions or something like that, and it's fished exactly the same on all 10 sessions. It's not roughed up, it stayed smooth. Brilliant stuff. I've got it on fixed spools. I'm really happy with fixed spools at the moment. I'm not getting tempted to get the multipliers back out or anything. But yeah, it's been a tough one. We're about done now, obviously. I'm going to reel them in shortly. I think England just equalised in extra time against Switzerland. It's in extra time, so they equalised in 80 minutes from what I've just checked. I hadn't had a chance to watch any. I checked the score about 20 minutes ago, I think, and they've just started extra time. Is that right? No, they were 10 minutes into extra time, sorry. So, get these reeled in. We've got a weird current now. It's like pulling the lines down rather than left or right. But it's keeping us just out in front of us. But my rod's absolutely caning off a double. I've had to strap him with bungee and lower him down. That's why you can't see him. So, yeah, I don't know if we're going to get out tomorrow. I'll have a word with Nick when I get back. The temptation is to go out, but it's a bit, you know, when you're down with family and that, sometimes. If I do get out, I might do some lure fishing because I'm really low on bait elastic, on a decent bait elastic. I ain't got any mackerel to start me off. So I might take lure rod out in the morning and see if I can get some mackerel. See what happens. Like, I mean, I'm not bothered if I don't. You know, I might have a light wagon. I don't know. It'd be a bit harsh, I think, if I go out in the morning. I can't make my mind up at the moment. If there's another video before sort of end of July, before middle of July sort of thing, it's because I've been out again, obviously. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I love it. I just love it. And it might not always be successful. It's hard work, isn't it, on the Tope? No matter who you are, it's hard work. I hadn't heard of many reports of them coming out on this headland down here that I'm on, people that know me and stuff. You know, I'll probably be a good guide as anyone at the moment, and fellow people that fish down here on the same marks as me. But I probably fish more down here than anyone, but I'm probably like one of the better indications at the moment until someone else puts a post on anyway that fishes down here. But yeah, it's been a tough one. Like, it's been a bonus session really. I thought I'd try somewhere else. I don't think it's been a mistake. One thing that I have noticed on this mark is it hasn't been anywhere near as snaggy as the mark and only fish. That's because I'm guessing not many people fish off here. And I've been getting gear back as well. I've lost one rig on a lobster pot and one rig on a snag, and I've stopped putting rotten bottoms on. I've been getting my gear back. So the only time you're going to lose your gear really on here is if you hook snag up. I think you can get away with it, you know. Because the way the current hammers round it, I think it probably clears a channel out in the middle maybe. So, you know, like the kelp and stuff. You know, this definitely is one of the marks where if you're a fish or bait fish or whatever, you ain't going to be able to knock about for too long. You know, you're not going to be able to loiter around for too long because something will have you in that tide room. So I feel quite confident. I'm surprised I didn't get any pollocks, to be honest with you. Last time fishing here, I had a couple of pollocks. Surprised I didn't get any. But I'm glad I've come back and fished this mark, because I fished it. I had a soldier session last year, a soldier session before. But yeah. I feel quite happy, I've enjoyed it, you know what I mean? I've had something in the net. I've got to repair the net because I had to cut it out. It got in net, I netted it because I thought, I'm not getting bit by it. I thought, I'll net it, get the line off its wing, no problem. Net and just control it a bit. So I'm trying to flap away. Got the line off its wing and it's like done a Houdini through through gaps in mesh. So I had to cut it out. No harm come to it, might add. You know, it's better it have been in net than me wrestling with it, isn't it? I did have to put my arm around its hand around its neck though, something from bites me when I cut it out. They're lovely, you know. Whilst they are like, I don't know how you view them. In some areas of the country, seagulls are vermin, aren't they? If you like, here they've made a bit of a comeback. So I think there was some bird flu and it wiped a lot out. You didn't get any, and I've been throwing bits of old mackerel into the sea and stuff when I've been rebaited. There's been loads coming down. It is nice to see, whilst I'm pain in the arse, it is nice to see that they're back, you know. And I wouldn't want any harm to come with me. You know, if I've got bits of squid and stuff, I ain't got any squid today, but if I've got bits of squid or bits of anything, generally I do leave them a bit because it can't be very good for me in winter, can it? It must be bleak. Can you imagine being roosted up here on cliff tops when it's blowing a 90-mile-an-hour wind? I know they're a pain in some places. They're not a pain. They're not really a pain on here, to be honest. So, when it flew into my line, I thought, bloody hell, my rod's going like this. I'm picking it up and it's going. I think it's a hustle. Or thinking a tope's picked up and it's going to go screaming up. And I looked, my line's going straight to a seagull on the surface. So the best thing to do to like, you know, to not harm it too severely, which I didn't harm it at all really, was to get it onto the rock best I could, net it, free it off my line, sort my rod out, and sort the net out with a bird in it. I've had to cut three strings, but I've got some twine back up at the cottage. You know, that nylon twine type stuff, so I'll probably reinforce it with that just to make sure that it's secure. To be fair though, I went out to use it today for any fish. Yeah, I'm going to get these reeled in. Might get back up to see penalty shootout. It's knocking 7 o'clock now. Gone. Right, it's about 9 o'clock now. I got back up for 8, I think. Thinking kids met me part way up. Come here, doggy. And doggy did. Come on, up. I think he's up. He's here, look. He's had a busy day, bless him. He's been out all day. He's absolutely shattered. Bless him, like we all are. They've had a very good day. They've been down to Fisherman's Cove, you know, Porthmewdwy, while I've been fishing, so they've done quite a bit of walking as well. They've had a cracking day. Yeah, it was a good session that, fishing wise, in terms of the enjoyment level. Not many fish, but really good session all the same. So I'm not going out tomorrow. I'm going to stay in and spend a bit of time with Nick and kids and that. And we're heading back home tomorrow night. So other than that, that's it. We'll be back soon. Keep safe, tight lines. Have a good one. I'll see you later. Cheers.